Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the best loadouts for each of the classes in the final Season 2, just because we've got some buffs and nerfs here and there since Season 2, really, and we got another one today, so I just thought I would take the time to go through. So for light, cloaking device, very good. Evasive dash, very good. Grappling hook, probably just not going to want to put it on. I think evasive dash you go further with, and it takes less time to recharge than the evasive dash, than the grappling hook rather. So you might as well just pick evasive dash over grappling hook. It's going to be a lot better. And then you can also go with the cloaking device. So both of those are kind of up to you. Then they're also obviously both going to offer different play styles, but they are both pretty effective. Then for the weapon, obviously it's going to depend on which specialization you use. But in general, LH1, very, very good if you can hit your shots. XP54, very, very good, just well-rounded weapon. M11, like the XP54, but more of a close-range weapon. So if you like the XP54, but you also like hip firing up close and personal to people, then you're probably going to prefer the M11. It is also very, very good, though. You can go with the V9S and with the 93R, though, if you want to, but they're both semi-auto, and it's always going to be harder to use semi-auto weapons than it is to use full-auto weapons, and they're both pretty similar to the XP54 and the M11, right? So I would just go with one of the other ones, one of the full-auto weapons, and, you know, the LH1 is semi-auto as well, but it's very, very, very good. 93R and V9S are okay, they do alright, but they're not going to be your best options, I think. SH1900 is still very, very strong if you can, like, hit both of your shots with this. It's going to be pretty good. Obviously, it doesn't two-shot a heavy anymore, but it's still pretty good. A lot of people aren't using it, but this thing just deletes people still if you can hit both of your shots, but obviously people aren't using it, and that's going to be because of the range and because you have to like be super, super precise every single time you shoot, otherwise you're just going to die. With the sniper, you know, you have to be very, very good to make this thing worthwhile. You also probably need a coordinated team. So, you know, like a heavy with a sledgehammer can make holes in the wall so you could snipe through or something. But this is going to be pretty powerful as well. Dagger is okay. I feel like it's going to be pretty difficult to get backstabs on people. But if you can, then go with that. It's going to be very strong. Sword is very, very annoying to play against, especially if it's a good light using a good evasive dash. So you can go with that as well. Throwing knives are also good if you can hit shots. So they're going to be very okay too. So what I would stay away from, just to recap, is the 93R, the V9S, probably the SH1900 just for the range, the sniper because you have to be very, very good to use it well. Same with the dagger and the sword and the throwing knives. And then if you don't have like very, very good aim, then I would stay away from the LH1 as well. So I'd really just stick with the M11 or the XP54. But the LH1 is good if you have like decent aim. For the gadgets, put the stun gun on. If you're playing medium, put the defibrillator on. If you're playing heavy, put the RPG on. If you're playing light, put the stun gun on. The stun gun right now is like the only thing keeping light in the game, really. If the stun gun wasn't in it, everyone would just be playing medium. Stun gun, very, very, very strong. Basically, just take someone else out of the fight and gives you a free kill, and then it's going to be like a 3v2, and then you're going to be able to shine a lot more in that fight as well. So stun gun's super, super powerful. Just put it on. And then the other two slots are kind of up to you. Last thing I was using was the frag grenade and the gas grenade. You can go with vanishing bomb if you want. You can go with gateway if you want. Go with sonar grenades are quite good. You can go with like pretty much whatever you want here, really. I would stay away from tracking dart and maybe thermal vision are the two I would stay away from, and everything else it's just kind of up to you, but I'd say tracking dart and thermal vision are just a little bit weaker than anything else here. So yeah, just XP54 or M11, stun gun, either evasive dash or cloaking device, and then pretty much whatever you want aside from the tracking dart or the thermal vision is what is going to be the best options for the light. Just having the stun gun on really is very, very, very powerful for light right now. It's also super annoying to play against, but if you come across a good light player, you're probably going to have a pretty rough time in that match. So then we come to medium, healing beam. That's it. Just healing beam's the meta there rather. Dematerializer is good as well. So, you know, if you're solo queuing and stuff, you can put it on if you want, or maybe if you're in a team and you have like two teammates both using healing beam and you maybe want to have a little bit more creative capabilities, you can pop this on. The healing beam is just better though. Like teammates are always going to be low and they're always going to need health, and then dematerializer is going to be a little bit situational. You can use it creatively, But healing beam, you know, if someone's low, you heal them. Pretty simple. So this is good, but I do think the healing beam's just better. Having the ability to heal teammates is very, very strong. And turret just isn't that good. Can be destroyed pretty easily, and you can also just avoid it pretty easily as well. It doesn't take so much to take out, and even if it's shooting at you, it doesn't do so much damage. Every now and then you'll get a kill with it, but I don't think it's fantastic. So I would just go with the healing beam there. I do think that is going to be the best. Now for the weapon, AKM is pretty good right now. It's like very, very balanced. FCAR is a lot more balanced than it was before. So pretty much just preference there. I prefer the AKM because now FCR people are shooting at me. They use up their 20 bullets. I'm low, but then I have like another 10 bullets in the AKM that I can shoot them with, and I can normally get the elimination. So I prefer the AKM. At this point, having the scope on the SER is nice, but the recoil pattern is a little bit hard to control for me. So I do just prefer the AKM. You can go with the FCR though. Can go with the revolver or the Model 8087 if you've got good aim. And I would stay away from the FAMAS or the Riot Shield. I think they're just not going to be as good as the SER or the AKM or anything else. You can go with the revolver as well. I think I said that already. But you do have to be able to hit your shots, and I think it does have a good bit of fall damage on it. Fall off rather. And I'd also stay away from the CL40. I don't think that's going to be fantastic. For the gadgets, I would stick either the zipline or the jump pad on, and that's just going to give you and your teammates a little bit more movement. I prefer the zipline. I know a lot of people prefer the jump pad, so just preference really. Also defibrillator, if you're playing medium, put the defibrillator on. And then you've got like one free slot here, and you can go with whatever you want here. So APS turret's very good. You can go with... Oh yeah, for the light as well, just avoid flashbangs. I think lights have flashbangs as well. Avoid flashbangs, they're not good. So you can go with the APS turret, gas grenade, goo grenade, pyro grenade. You can also go with like a zipline and jump pad if you want to have crazy movement. Pyro grenade's fine, gas mine, explosive mine. All of these are quite good. I would avoid flashbang and data reshaper, I think. Maybe also the mines, because they kind of collectively got nerfed recently, and it's really not that hard to just go around a mine. Like now, if someone chucks a mine on your teammate's totem and you go to res, like 9 times out of 10, you can just grab your teammate's totem that has a mine on it and safely res. They're just very, very inconsistent right now. But something like this is going to be the meta for the medium. And then for the heavy, Charge and Sam is good. I think Mesh Shield's probably going to be the meta though. It's just very, very good, especially if you're in a coordinated team. It's very, very, very strong. Gugon's also good, so I think Charge and Sam and Gugon are both quite good. And then I think Mesh Shield is going to be the best. I prefer Charge and Sam, but I do think that Mesh Shield is better. Lewis Gun is very, very good if you can hit your shots. If you can't really hit your shots with it, M60 is going to be better because you've got 70 bullets in the mag, so it's just going to be a little bit more forgiving. If you want a shotgun, then it's going to be up to you whether you want to go with the SA-1216 or the KS-23. Neither of them are fantastic, but if you get the hang of either of them, they are both going to be very okay. I think you're probably going to want to go with the Lewis Gun or the M60 though, just because it's going to have more range on it as well. You can also go for the flamethrower. It's kind of like a shotgun because it's a close range weapon, right? It's not fantastic, but if your enemy isn't great, then it's going to be good. Or if they're trying to like shield up, then this is also going to be good. And if they're all together in like one area, 3 enemies are together in one area, you're going to be able to do damage to all of them with this, which is nice as well. So I honestly, out of the close range weapons, I would go with the flamethrower here. Because I think it would be quite good, especially if you paired it with something like Mesh Shield. Because that way, if someone else is shooting at you with like a gun, and you Mesh Shield, and then you flamethrower after that, like when they're reloading or something, that's probably going to be quite good. You can also go with Sledgehammer if you want. It's like very okay. But if there's like a good light on the enemy team using evasive dash, you're not going to hit that light with a Sledgehammer. So I would stay away from it. But you know, it is a fun weapon to use, so I can understand if you want to use it. An MGL32 is honestly pretty good. You have to get used to it, but if you get used to it and if you can hit your shots with it, it's very, very viable. So I would go with Flamethrower, MGL32, Lewis Gun, or the M60. And then I would kind of stay a little bit away from the KS-23 or the SA-1216, and then I'd stay quite far away from the Sledgehammer. That's how I would rank all of the stuff in heavy. Then obviously for the gadgets, RPG is very, very good. You're probably just gonna want to stick that on. Dome Shield is very, very good as well. You're probably just going to want to stick that on. I have Explosive Mines on here. I don't know why. You can go... C4 isn't going to be great anymore. You can go with Barricade if you want. It is very annoying to play against. Gas Grenade. frag grenade, goo grenade, pyro grenade, all quite good. You can go with mines if you want, but again, they are quite inconsistent. You can go with motion sensor too. I don't know why that's on heavy now, but you can go with that as well. It's not going to be fantastic. It doesn't have the biggest range, but you do have 2 of them, so you can use that if you want, and you can try and use some creative plays with the anti-gravity cube as well. I think that's going to pair best with, like, the dematerializer on a medium, so you can bring the cash out up and then close the hole off or something like that. I don't think it's a fantastic gadget, but, you know, you can try and use it creatively. So I think something like this, I'll just stick the barricades on, is going to be better for the heavy. Again, either flamethrower, Lewis gun, or M60 would probably be best. Lewis gun and M60, honestly, are probably a little bit ahead of the flamethrower, and the flamethrower is probably a little bit ahead of everything else. You can go with the MGL32 as well, which I would have said already. But yeah, just kind of wanted to do an updated what's the best thing for each class video, because I don't think I've done one in a while. I might be completely wrong, but I don't think I've done one in a while. And after today's patch notes, some things got shaken up. Like before, FCR was super strong, and then before that, SA1216 was super strong, and now they're not so strong anymore, and they're a lot more balanced. So I thought I would just make one of these videos. I think everything does seem a little bit more balanced now. Yeah, it would be nice to see a couple of buffs to certain things, like a small buff to the CL40 I think would be good, because no one really uses that. A little buff to the 93R, even though it got one today, I still think it's not fantastic. V9S buff would be nice. Maybe just a tiny one to make it a little bit more viable. Yeah, I mean, the heavy's guns aren't in a good place right now, I don't think. They don't feel very fun to use, I would say. Except the sledgehammer, but unfortunately that's like quite bad. The flamethrower also feels quite fun, but I think it's not as good as like a medium's AKM or anything. I don't think the heaviest weapons are in a fantastic place. I think it feels like quite a chore to use the heaviest weapons. Like all of the, like, you have to learn the recoil pattern for the Lewis gun, the M60, and that's quite hard to do because they have quite high mag sizes, right? So you have to like learn 47 bullets of the recoil pattern for the Lewis gun and 70 for the M60, which isn't easy to do. For the MGL32, it's finicky, it's got a gimmick to it, so you gotta like learn that and like practice with that a lot. KS23 is obviously a projectile, so you gotta deal with that. Sledgehammer is only melee, so you gotta deal with that. The SA1216, you know, it's just pretty tough to use right now against like a medium's 1887 or something. So I don't think any of the heaviest weapons feel particularly great right now. But, you know, I gave my thoughts on everything before. I think medium's weapons feel pretty good at the moment, and I think maybe some light weapons feel a little bit poor right now. I know a lot of people want the stun gun taken out. Don't know what's going to happen there, because the stun gun goes, no one plays light. If the stun gun goes, everyone plays medium with healing beam and defibrillator. That's just the meta. Like, even right now, that's pretty much the meta, but you can, like, kind of counter that with the light, right? You can counter mediums about to defibrillate their teammates with light by using the stun gun or the glitch grenades. But the glitch grenades were nerfed today, so now they only last for 5 seconds, which means, like, if the stun gun is taken off the light, then I think a lot more people are just going to play medium or heavy. And even right now, heavy feels a little bit rough. Unless you're in a coordinated team and you're using the mesh shield and really, like, talking to your teammates, or unless you've got, like, a really good aim and you've really learned the recoil pattern for the Lewis gun or the M60, I do think heavy feels like just a little bit of a chore to play right now as well. I think medium's at a pretty good spot. I think the healing beam is quite strong. Defibrillator is also like definitely the best gadget in the game right now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen if the stun gun is taken out, but I know a lot of people have been calling for that. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, there's my thoughts on everything, and there's like the updated loadouts for what's going to give you the most success in ranked and so forth. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.